Talks, Erican from the Erican Street Photography blog. So I just wanted to make a quick video before I'm heading off to sleeping, or heading off to sleep. It's about close to midnight right now. It's actually my last day in Los Angeles, and I wanted to talk a little bit about I guess some reflections on my my time here in Los Angeles and actually moving to Michigan and being with my girlfriend Cindy. Yeah, and so for those of you guys who don't know, I'm actually moving to Michigan, to help continue Cindy, my girlfriend, who's studying a PhD in history right now. She's studying, for you guys who are curious, she's studying Vietnamese colonial history. She's an awesome scholar, and I just wanted to be there for her along, as much as I could to help her in her journey as well. Just reflecting on Los Angeles. So let's see. I first came to Los Angeles about 6-7 years ago. I went to school as a sociology student at UCLA, and it's really through my first years in college when I started getting into photography and finding out street photography along the way. To fast forward some time, I ended up really getting into it, and it was actually because of Cindy who really encouraged me to do more street photography, and one thing I'm really grateful of that. And I started the photography club at UCLA, which is a great legacy that I'm glad that me and my friends were able to help start, and it's running really well right now. And after graduating college, of course, I was actually thinking about getting my PhD in sociology, but towards the end of my senior year, I was like, do I want to go to school for another 8 years? Maybe I'll pass on that. So I decided not to do that, and started really thinking about what I want to do, and actually just ended up doing an internship, doing social media. So if you guys are ever curious how I know Facebook and blogging, Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff, is actually through that internship, which actually led to a full-time job. And I worked there about close to 1.5 years before I got laid off and decided to do my street photography full-time. And I remember when I started street photography in Los Angeles, it was really difficult because even though I had such a love and passion for street photography, I knew a lot of other photographers who like to shot landscape, weddings, and portraits and all that, but I didn't know any people who like to shoot street photography. And I'm like, man, this kind of sucks, because even though street photography is kind of a solitary pursuit, you're generally shooting on the streets by yourself. It's really nice to have people along you, that you could bring your photos, you could share your photos with them, get feedback and critique, bring photo books, and just really that community aspect. Ever since I was young, really appealed to me. But once again, didn't know any other street photographers in Los Angeles. And it was really through some of my early workshops that I taught in downtown Los Angeles and Hollywood that I really had a wonderful opportunity to meet a lot of other passionate street photographers and being able to bring them together. And one of my last nights in Los Angeles, I had a going away party that Todd from the Takayama Gallery graciously organized and had some bomb, Korean food and meat from his catering business. And invited a bunch of people. So for me it was so wonderful to see all these street photographers from all over Los Angeles and elsewhere that being able to come together, have a beer, just chatting, laughing, having a good time. It's something that really made me so, although I'm really sad to leave Los Angeles, I'm really glad that I was able to help, maybe be the initial spark to bring people together. And, people had good food, we were having good conversation, and actually had about 15 exhibition prints that I had from my City of Angels exhibition that Leica hosted in Korea. And, really nice, huge prints that were pigment prints, and they looked really nice. And I was thinking about just taking them back with me to Michigan, but I was thinking to myself, why not just spread the love? And so I actually, unfortunately there's more than 15 people, so I had to, auction off with numbers and stuff like that. But once again, being able to share a little bit of that with myself was something really wonderful. And I just have so much to thank, everyone in the Los Angeles street photography community and beyond. Especially thanks to Todd, who helped me out so much early on, and even nowadays, he's always kind of the one that keeps pushing me harder to work really hard in my street photography. And all the other LA street photographers, you guys know who you are, for the constant love, support, and encouragement. Being a full-time street photographer is definitely not easy. I mean, a lot of people say to me, yeah, that's so wonderful, you're able to travel and see all these cool places, and it is amazing, and I'm so blessed and so lucky to do what I do. But at the same time, it's really emotionally, physically, and actually spiritually draining because I'm always on the road. I'm probably on the road 3 weeks out every month, so I don't have much time to spend around my loved ones. I'm away from Cindy a lot, away from my fellow street photographers here in LA, and even I used to be really active in church. I'm a pretty style Catholic, but now that I'm traveling teaching workshops, I'm not even able to attend mass and stuff like that. So I'm actually pretty jealous of people who are actually able to stay home and be with the people they love and care about. So, what they always say, the grass is always greener on the other side, but I read in a book to flip that saying around and saying, the grass is greener on your side. But, regardless, I think that this is going to be, an exciting opportunity for me to move over to Michigan. For those of you guys who are curious, Cindy goes to Michigan State, so I'll actually be in East Lansing, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's about like an hour and a half drive to Detroit. And I know some great street photographers in Detroit, like Brian Day and Andy Kochanowski, for example, and New York and Toronto and Chicago and Wisconsin are pretty close drive away, so it's actually a pretty nice location. And also the great thing is that it'll be closer to the East Coast, so closer to Europe and I guess not Asia, but I guess it's kind of more of a central location. And of course I'll be visiting Los Angeles as much as I can. But my schedule is pretty, for the next 6 or 7 months is going to be pretty hectic. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm actually flying over to Michigan, and I packed up all my stuff. And it's funny, when I'm traveling, I try to be as minimal as I can. Literally all I have is like my backpack and my camera bag and 3 pairs of clothes, my laptop, my camera, and that's it. And so I've been able to really cut down. And so whenever I came back home, I would see my closet full of all these clothes, all this crap I don't even need. And so I literally filled up 3 garbage bags full of clothes that I used to wear, and I just donated it all to Goodwill, which helps out the community, and just threw away all this old stuff that I really didn't need. And hopefully I was able to pack up all my boxes with all my street photography books, which weighed a ton, and I shipped that out via the post office today. And I have 2 of those big check-in luggages, one for my clothes, one for some of my photo related stuff and personal things, and my backpack and my camera bag. So really trying to be minimalist because really when you're traveling, less is more, less is more. So 1 camera, 1 lens, a laptop, and clothes, and that's all I pretty much need. And moving to Michigan, I'm actually very excited. I'm thinking about doing some more street photography projects in Detroit, and maybe also more documentary projects. Maybe talking to the people, because whenever people think about Detroit, it's like, oh yeah, the urban decay and all these buildings falling apart, and it's just kind of done to death. And I heard the term is called ruin porn, but one thing I really want to do is paint a much more positive image of Detroit, because even when I was shooting street photography in Detroit, I mean, people are suffering, people are having a hard time, but people are just so energetic, so friendly, so open, and so warm. And even to like random Asian guy walking in the middle of Detroit with a camera. I mean, I stand out pretty bad, stand out a lot, but people just treat me with so much generosity and kindness, and I want my photos to really reflect that sort of positive message through my photography. But once again, my travels are pretty loaded the next several months. This weekend I'm going to be teaching a New York street photography workshop with Adam Morelli, which is very exciting. I'll be in New York for 2 weeks. Hopefully going to do a lot of shooting for my Suits project. Going to hit up, Wall Street, and I'm going to have a field day. I have like 100 rolls of Portrait 400, which I'm going to bring with me. 2 weeks after that, I'll be in New York and going to Venice and Verona for another street photography workshop with Adam. If anyone's interested for an epic trip, see more details on my workshops page. October, I'm having a week-long cruise street photography workshop, which will be awesome. It's just going to be like hanging out, drinking, eating, and also shooting street photography. Focusing on a project and just constantly shooting and editing every day. I think it's going to be really exciting. That's October. November, I'm going to be in Japan for an entire month. So I'll be doing the first weekend of November intro street photography workshop with Bellamy Hunt. After that, intermediate and advanced street photography workshop. And the difference between those two is my intro one is going to be more about, you know, feeling more comfortable shooting on the streets, approaching people, knowing what to look for shooting the streets. And the intermediate and advanced one is going to be more about finding your own style, you know, really how to focus on projects, editing, and, you know, really finding and developing your own voice. And the last one, the third weekend of November, which I'm actually very excited for, is going to be a film street photography workshop in Kyoto. We're going to be working with Sean Lotman, who is a phenomenal film street photographer, and of course Bellamy is a film nut as well. So I think it's going to be an amazing time. December, week-long workshop in Calcutta with Adam Relly. Also going to be an epic trip. January, Manila, Philippines. Going to be there for a month. Excited for that. End of January, coming back home for my birthday, of course. What was it? February. What do I have? February. Oh, going back to India. Going to be there for a while. March, Hong Kong. Oh, new workshops, Bangkok and in Thailand. And April is going to be Beijing and Shanghai. So keep your eyes open for that. But, you know, once again, thank you everyone so much for supporting me. It was crazy. Like I was on my Facebook fan page the other day, and I have like 22,000 likes, and I'm like, oh my god, this is kind of all so surreal and kind of a dream, and I have no idea how it just kind of exploded to be so many people. But once again, I've been making some new street talks pages, general discussion pages regarding equipment and critique, and really it just makes me so happy to bring people together, because even though internet's such a great place that, you know, it could create opportunities to bring us together, but I think generally it's kind of pulling us apart. But it seems that everyone in the community has been doing a really good job to be able to link with one another. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people ask me, you know, what do you want out of photography? Do you want to be a famous photographer, or do you want to be in history books? And, you know, of course, all that would be very nice. But I think for me, at the end of the day, it's being able to travel, see the world, meet some phenomenal people, and bringing other people together. Some of my friends in Singapore really recently started their own street photography collective called 5 Foot Way. I don't know what it means, but anyways, it was, you know, they sent me a message and said thanks for bringing them together over in Singapore. And, you know, small things like that, just that's what makes life special for me. But yeah, anyways, next few weeks is gonna be kind of hectic, and if you guys were listening to this video and seeing why the audio was so good, actually, thanks for those guys on YouTube who gave me a suggestion for this new Samsung portable mic. It's pretty heavy, but I just clip it on top of my laptop. So sorry guys, the video still looks crappy, but at least you have decent audio. So yeah, once again, thanks guys so much for everything. I really owe my life to you guys. I'll keep you guys posted for my travels, and thanks again so much. All right, peace out.